So first thing, get yourself a large workspace with some electrical power and take stock of what tools and equipment you need. For this project, I have a nice large drop cloth to protect the area. These are great for any artist as you will use them a lot. Super cheap at your local hardware store. In fact, you can get almost all this stuff at your local hardware store. Now the supplies that you need. You need a 4-inch metal hinge that's 2 inches wide at the base with 3 holes for a solid connection. You also need a tape measure. Anything over 8 feet will be fine. And then a linked chain. Should be light, over 4 feet. Get a box of screws. Nothing fancy. Regular drywall screws or wood screws will work fine. They're good to have around for future projects. A 1-pound box is cheap and will last for a long time. Then you need a metal eye that can screw into the wood, 2 of them exactly. One should be about 1 inch, the other should be slightly larger, it can screw in 2 inches. You're going to need a Sharpie or a pencil of some sort. A small power drill will work for screwing things. A jigsaw will be needed for cutting. You'll also need some wood for the easel. Get 4 8-foot 1x4s. Try and get the most straight boards you can find at your store. I also got 2 8-foot 1x1s, but you really only need 1. I just like to have a little extra wood to work with in a project in case I need it. All the supplies cost me about $40. Not too bad for the size and the usefulness I will get. So, get 2 of the 1x4s and set them next to each other. What I'm doing here is attempting to guess the angle. The ends need to be cut to create the large A shape of the easel and have the legs stand level on the floor. Now I have the desired shape set against the wall as if it's standing, and now I have the other 1x4. This will be used for 2 pieces. First will be the crossboard that will hold the painting on the easel, so we don't want it to stick out too far. I'm looking for a wide enough area to mount fairly large paintings and decided on 3 foot 8 inches. This way I have 4 inches sticking out on each side. This is a personal choice. All of these measurements are customizable. Make a mark for cutting. Now to go to the top of the easel. Take the part of the board left after the cut line and lay it over the top of the future easel. You want to make another cut line after the first, but do not want this section of board to stick out beyond the A-frame. It's quite easy, just place it right where you are going to want to permanently attach it. I want it right at the top. Time to cut. Take your time and be careful and cut on your marks. You can place the little leftover piece to the side as you don't need it for anything. Now to mark exactly where to screw the pieces in so the easel will stand straight. I measure down 3 feet on both sides. This will hold an almost 3-foot canvas quite well. Now take one of the 2x1s and put it on top of the base easel board and measure it to the same length and mark it for a cut. Then cut it. This will be flat over the other board on the upper edge to create a lip for the painting to sit on. Make sure the boards extend an equal distance on both sides. Now screw through both boards on each side. Make sure you don't move them around and the boards are lined up level towards the top part of the easel to form the lip to hold your canvas. Screw right through both boards and into the easel frame. The screw should be the perfect length. Then go back and put another screw through both sides about an inch away from the other screw to make the build nice and sturdy. With the top piece, it should be on the back side of the easel, so there's a level area to lay your canvas on. I'm going to be attaching the hinge here for the back leg. We can use the extra piece of 1x2 to attach to the back of the top crossboard to make the wood thick enough for the screws and to mount the hinge to. Just mark the board for cutting just like the last one. And cut. I'm going to arrange the boards like this. It really doesn't matter if they're lined up to the top or bottom. Make sure the easel has been flipped so this is on the back side before drilling. You can eyeball this one to level if you want. The boards are small enough, but measure down to where you want to place the boards if you feel they need to be exact. Use a couple of screws on each side so it is solid, but be careful about splitting the wood as everything is closer together. Alright, the main part of the easel is done. Looks like it can hold a large painting nicely. Now it's time to add the hinge and the back leg. First, find the center of the top crossboard. The hinge will mount right there on the 1x2. All that's left is to attach the hinge. Now to get the final 1x4 to use the back leg. To determine the length, just find a nice angle that you would want to paint at and mark where the hinge is on the board. Straight from the bottom of where the hinge turns to the floor seems perfect. Cut that board and screw it in. Get the large metal eye now and screw it into the center of the bottom crossbeam. This is where the chain will go to keep the back leg from extending forever and everything falling flat on the floor. You can do this by twisting it in by hand usually. If the wood is too hard, use a drill bit or a screw smaller than the eye screw to make a starter hole, and then it should be no problem. It will be a little difficult, but that is how you know it's secure. Now bend the back leg so you can insert the smaller eye in the middle. Try and make it even with the other eye. I had to start this hole with a screw because the wood was too tough. I'm almost done now. Time to break out the chain. Figure out how far you want the leg to open and measure out enough chain to loop through both eyes to meet itself again. Cut through a link there to detach the excess chain with something tough like these branch trimmers. To attach the two ends of the chain, you can use many options like wire, plastic zip ties, or I'm using one of these cheap metal keychain dog tag things. Now stand it up. That's pretty much it. Ready for painting and stuff.